Hello and welcome to another episode recap for episode 21 of Fate Stay Night's Unlimited Blade Works that is titled Answer. And this is pretty much concluding the battle between Shiro and Archer, pretty much halfway through in the episode, essentially, here, because the other half of the episode pretty much goes into the next threats right away. We don't really get any breathing room, I would say, with the next battle coming up, because I believe this is a 23 episode series, and so 2 more episodes left to go after episode 21, and looks like Saber and Gilgamesh are going to have a battle, perhaps. I mean, the opening theme does suggest that, however, the opening theme suggested many things that didn't really come through, and well, I guess some things came through, just not the way we expected them to come through. And so very interesting stuff here with Archer and Shiro pretty much accepting each other. That's not kind of how the way the battle ends, and I'll get to that later on, but still, again, what I mentioned before in my last episode recap about the themes of Fate Stay Nights, where we do see the acceptance of yourself, and Archer and Shiro are pretty much the same person, and we do see that they do pretty much accept each other, thus accepting themselves. And Rin, who knows what she's going to do. We do see her in this episode, even Saber as well, and this is probably the only episode, and probably future episodes to come, where watching Fate Zero does actually matter, and it does give more of an impact on things that are going to happen later on, and especially this episode between Gilgamesh and Saber, their conversation with each other. If you watch Fate Zero, it does really serenade with you more. I don't know if that's the word, but still, it really matters to you more. You do understand the relationship between these two characters and what happened at the end of Fate Zero and why our characters are motivated the way they are right now. And so the beginning of the episode is with Shiro and Archer continuing their battle, and Archer pretty much being disgusted by Shiro and his will to fight, and how his spirit is never yet to be broken, and that's the only thing Archer can't break, Shiro's spirit, and his belief that if one person can be saved, that many others can be as well. And it's sort of a look that Shiro gives that sort of gives a remembrance of how Archer used to be before, when he first came about, and how he, was saving people at first, and he was feeling good about it. He thought there was a chance that he could save everybody if he saved these group of people, these group of kids. And we do see that even Saber, she realizes the impact that Shiro and Archer have on each other, and why they're fighting against each other, and sort of Archer's disgust with Shiro, and why he's doing all this. And she looks back on her own life, and sees that Shiro and Archer are pretty much, their paths are very similar to each other. Shiro is a guy who wants to pursue his ideals, however he sees his own ideal self and doesn't really accept it that way, and Archer wants to stop Shiro from pursuing his ideals because he already knows what's going to happen. And Saber is in a similar kind of predicament when she picked up Excalibur and she became king of Britain and became King Arthur, and she could have chosen that life compared to a different life as what we see as a housemaid, or just like a housewife essentially there. And so 2 different lives that Saber could have chosen, and she chose one. And could she have chosen the other one? It's very easy for her to say now that she's in a very similar position that Archer is in, and she would like to be in a position that Shiro is in before. And so a very interesting look at Saber and more character development for her, and again, more impact if you watch Fate Zero and see everything loop back together and see her motivations from the beginning 10 years ago up until now 10 years later after the prequel Fate Zero. We see that Shiro, he understands that his wish and dreams are fake and hypocritical, but he still sees beauty in all of that. And while Shiro is pretty much saying all these things, the reality marble and Archer's memories start changing and flickering, and we see that the darkness and the urban and not really urban, but barren wasteland that we see with Archer's Unlimited Blade Works is starting to warm up, and we see bright skies, blue skies, when Shiro starts stating that he sees beauty in his dream and he will pursue his dreams no matter what, that believing in his dream is not wrong, even though Archer may be right with all that he's saying, and how he lived his life the way he did, and he wants to lose all that memories of what he did before, killing and killing for no reason, essentially. At least in his opinion, it is for no reason. And just as Shiro is going for the kill, and it looks like Archer can pretty much kill Shiro right away, he loses hope, Archer does, after seeing himself once again in Shiro, and that's allowing Shiro to kill Archer, and Archer has finally accepted himself, and that Shiro is also right as well, whether he likes it or not. Shiro is going to be his own self. His spirits will continue to live on no matter what, and Archer is willing to accept that and accept Shiro as a person, and we see that they pretty much make up at the end. And Gilgamesh comes in, pretty much delivering the final blow to Archer, and Archer is able to save Shiro, telling him that it is up to him to defeat Gilgamesh. And that's when Archer dies, saving Shiro and the others, while Gilgamesh is killing off the faker, as he calls him, the fake person, as he keeps saying, and is willing to kill Shiro next because he's also a fake person as well. And then we get some backstory on Gilgamesh and sort of some new things, possibly if you've never watched Fate Zero, and possibly some little tidbits here and there if you've watched Fate Zero. And again, if you haven't watched Fate Zero, I recommend that you do, because it does help you, it helps a lot. It doesn't hurt to watch the series. I keep saying this in my episode recaps, but still, it doesn't hurt to watch it. But still, Gilgamesh, he pretty much is talking about what happened 10 years ago after Saber destroyed the Holy Grail using her Excalibur noble phantasm. And so we learned that he bathed in the Holy Grail, granting him physical form for the past 10 years. So that explains why he is still around for the past 10 years. And he learned that the Holy Grail would appear after the sacrifice of its contents, which is the servant, meaning that only a mage could use the Grail. And so it's sort of this dangerous thing for mages to use, because it's pretty much used to destroy humanity, I guess, because it opens a portal to hell, which, brings out all this chaos and whatnot. So it's sort of like the Rapture, if you will. That's sort of the way I interpreted it. And we see that Saber is sort of at a loss for words, essentially. She's broken down because she thought that she could handle the Holy Grail, but she realizes that she has to be used for sacrifice in order for the Holy Grail to manifest and be used. And it's sort of a lie to servants in order for them to keep fighting for the mages in this whole Holy Grail war. And we learn that Gilgamesh is only interested in the destruction of all humans in this era, and that those who survive this hell would be worthy to be ruled by Gilgamesh, and that the Grail, again, is a creation of man that is intended to destroy man. And so Gil, he leaves his completed task of killing Archer, because that's all he really wanted to do. He just wanted to kill Archer for a while now, and so he just leaves the others behind without killing them, sort of saving them, I guess, because some soot is falling off from the fire, and he values the soot better than the humans and Saber, and that's sort of what he thinks about people. And we see some glimpses of the Gilgamesh that many of us know from learning about the character in Fate Zero, and just learning more about him in this series from the little that we have so far. And then the episode ends with Gilgamesh meeting up with Shinji in the woods, and Shinji, again, being himself, as he usually is. However, that's characteristic of himself really gets him killed this time around, as he is now being used as a sacrifice for the Holy Grail War, because I guess, you could use any sort of vessel, and instead of using Rin as a vessel, Shinji is used as a vessel, and I guess he puts the heart in Shinji, Gilgamesh does, and he starts sort of expanding and blowing up. He's sort of like, if you watch Slither, that thing in the barnyard, it's very similar to that, I would say. There, and very disgusting scene we see here, very well visualized with the animation of this series, but still very disgusting. I don't know if Shinji actually deserved that. That could be something for the comments down below, whether Shinji, with all that he's done, whether he deserved it or not. Maybe he did, because he tried to rape, I guess, Rin, because he keeps talking about her in a sort of rapey kind of vibe, I feel, and so maybe he kind of deserved his outcome that he is going to have with this thing we see in the opening thing, with the thing pulsing and all that. That's probably Shinji there, and Gilgamesh, again, wanting the Holy Grail and waiting for Saber to possibly fight him for it. And so that is it for this episode, and for a rating, I'm probably going to give this episode a 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this episode, learning more about the Holy Grail and sort of its purpose, pretty much like a rapture device in order to weed out some bad humans, or just weed out any humans at all, basically, because there wasn't really any parameters that Gilgamesh mentioned on which humans will be killed, but most likely a lot of humans are going to be killed when the Holy Grail manifests itself, and it's up to Saber, Rin, and Shiro, especially Shiro, I guess, because Archer said that he has to be the one to take out Gilgamesh, but we'll see Saber possibly use her Noble Phantasm for the first time in this series because we haven't really seen her use it at all, but we see some cool moments with her. Rin is her master, and we do see in the episode preview, like, they don't really show anything, but what they talk about is possibly Shiro and Rin are kind of going to work together using both of their mana power in order to help Saber take out Gilgamesh and possibly save humanity, maybe prevent another destruction like that happened 10 years ago with Shiro, but we'll see what happens with them and what happens with Gilgamesh, what he's going to be plotting next for our heroes, basically. But yeah, I really did enjoy what we learned about the Holy Grail and sort of how the Holy Grail is separated with the servants, and that's pretty much the contents of the Holy Grail, and it's all about the sacrifices of the Holy Grail War and how the servants are pretty much manipulated. Sort of an Archer, he's pretty much used as a weapon, and we see why he's all pissed off about humanity. It's sort of justified there. Really curious on how Saber is going to react in episode 22, whether she'll keep fighting on, whether she'll keep believing in her dream, because that's a big thing that she even keeps on 10 years later and after Fate Zero, her dream of saving Britain, using Holy Grail to possibly reverse her decision of lifting Excalibur. Will she do that after seeing what Archer has done and sort of what Archer has realized and learned from his experience with fighting Shiro? Will Saber learn the same things? We'll have to see about that. So I'm hoping that this next 2 episodes, especially the next episode, really is more a reflection of Saber as a character, or even Gilgamesh as a character as well. Really hoping for that. And maybe some cool fight scenes as well between Saber and Gilgamesh for a little bit as well. We'll have to wait and see on that there for the next episode. But don't forget your thoughts and opinions on this episode in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video and share it. Do all that stuff there. But have a nice day. Bye-bye.